game in Boston ties the series with a 109-86 win.
On everybody, welcome to an emergency Schmidt as we are capping a wild Tuesday night in sports. Hope you can join us as we break down everything here on the Schmidt Show. Ethan Schmidt, host and creator of the Schmidt Show, and wow, unreal. Not even sure where to start, honestly, but just finished up was the Memphis Golden State game, and that one coming down to an excellent finish. Of course, Memphis taking things and evening up the series with a 106-101 win. And Ja Morant, 47 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, career night for the young fella. This guy is younger than me and out there high flying. Just what a superstar that Memphis has gotten in Ja Morant, and coming from a mid-major school like Murray State is just incredible. And he pretty much, it was all him to close out the game. Memphis ending the game, I think like it was like 13-4 run, and Ja Morant just absolutely taking over. Gotta love it. And the earlier game, Milwaukee Boston, of course, the Milwaukee Bucks faltering today, really struggled against the Celtics and losing big time. And I was completely wrong about that game. If you keep up with the Twitter picks, hashtag NBA picks, Schmitty's NBA picks on Twitter, be sure to check that out. You can follow me on Twitter at the Ethan Schmidt. Took the Bucks +5 and they got throttled. Giannis just wasn't really himself tonight. As we take a look at if this will pull up for me, we can talk about the stats from both games. Giannis, uncharacteristic night. Usually a guy that shoots 50+% from the floor, and 11 of 27 in his field goals and 28 points. Jaylen Brown finally awakening, erupting for 30 points after a cold streak for Jaylen Brown. So that's good to see if you're a Boston Celtics fan. I know my buddy Chris Gleason loved the performance today by his Celtics, evening up the series at 1. And Boston and Milwaukee will be headed to Milwaukee with that thing all tied up. I mean, this series has the potential to go 7. Excuse me, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and share this on Twitter so people will actually tune in. I'm not just talking to myself. So hoping that people can join and chime in, because I would love to talk about things with. I'd love for you guys to suggest things to talk about, and we can roll through it together. Really, let's see. All right, we're up. We had somebody coming in and out, and unfortunately, my internet blows cheap. All right, are we good? We're good. All right, perfect. Just tweeted that out. Hope people tune in. We're live on YouTube. So hopefully people join in. Ethan Schmidt, host and creator of the Schmidt Show. Just an unreal night of sports tonight, and I had to hop on for the emergency talk on all things that went down. Of course, the latest game finishing up, Memphis winning 106-101 over the Golden State Warriors, and Ja Morant, young superstar, just blossoming in front of our eyes, and he was all over the place. Actually, let's take a look at the play-by-play for the final minutes of the Memphis Golden State game because I think John Morant might have scored every single point for the Grizzlies when Memphis was down 97-93. And we'll take a look at the box score play-by-play. Let's see. Yeah, did John Morant really just close out the game entirely for Memphis? Because that is hard to do, especially against the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, a very well uh, experienced team in the playoffs. Let's see. Fourth quarter, John Morant. It was 97-93. Jordan Poole makes a two-pointer. And then let's see. Okay, he started scoring at 4:16 left in the fourth quarter. Excuse me, John Morant. All right, driving layup, 4 points for John Morant. The jump, the step back to go ahead by one. So that's already what we're at. 7 points for John Morant to close out the game. Another two-pointer, 9 points for John Morant. The two free throws, 11 points for John Morant. A floater, that's damn, where are we at? 13 points for John Morant. A free throw for 15 points, two free throws, and that was it. He closed the game single-handedly for Memphis. Oh my God, what a baller this kid is. He's a little younger than me. I'm 24 years old. John Moran, I think he's 21 now, and out here hooping like nobody's business, just crossing people up, getting all the oohs and ahs that he deserves. So shout out that's the stat line of the night: 47, 8, and 8 for John Moran. Unbelievable. And of course, yeah, the Bucks really faltering in Game 2 of the series against Boston, dropping that game big time. I didn't think the Celtics would run away with it like that today, but we split 50-50 today. Took Memphis +2 and the under in the game. Those hit for Memphis Golden State, but then the Bucks just didn't have it today. Couldn't cover +5, and I thought it would be more competitive and higher scoring, so it took the over. Not even close, as the Bucks really struggled. So let's just make sure here. John Morant, 2 points, 4 points, 6 points, 8 points, 11 points, 13 points, 15 points. Yeah. John Morant closing out the game on a 15-point run for himself. Pretty cool. And so now let's move on to the other insane game, a part of the postseason today. Um, Triple overtime between the New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins just sticking with it and pulling it out in the third overtime. Shot on goal. I believe, let's see, it was, what's his name, man? I'm sorry. I think it's Marin. Uh, Marino. Yeah, Marino just flicked the puck on net, and Malkin, the big body, nobody can move him out of the way. It goes off the shaft of his stick and deflects past the goaltender for the Rangers and Shesterkin. So big win for Pittsburgh on the road to start this series. Took the over in this game, over 5.5 goals. That was an easy play, but I thought this would be too close to call, and obviously triple overtime. Took nearly 2 full games to decide the first game of the series. So we're gonna have to see how it plays out, because these teams are gonna have to regroup. Especially, that's so tough when you're the losing team in a game like that, going triple overtime, and you just got to shake it off, dust yourself off, get back up, and get swinging again. And we'll see if the Rangers can do that. Home ice advantage. So New York has a chance to even up the series, and it's not going to get any easier for the Rangers going forward. The Penguins, a grizzled veteran team, they showed the stat during the game, nearly triple the amount of playoff games for the players on Pittsburgh compared to the young Rangers team. I think it was like 453 total games played by New York's roster, and then Pittsburgh had like, I think it was like at least like 1,100 playoff games, which is just insane. And it speaks to the success of the franchise and how Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and Letang and those guys have consistently carried this team into the postseason, and the durability. I mean, my goodness, over 1,000 playoff games played by a roster is pretty incredible. So the Pittsburgh Penguins winning. I know one of my role models as we get the Schmidt show going, Pat McAfee, his Penguins getting the dub. So I'm sure he's happy about that. The Super Boost today, though, for Pat McAfee on FanDuel didn't cash. I put money on that. Unfortunate. Sidney Crosby 2 assists, and Panarin he teed up his guys so many times in the overtime, and couldn't get the apple on the stat sheet to cash out the Pat McAfee boost on FanDuel. Unfortunately, Crosby did what he had to do, but Panarin just unable to get on the board. So it looks like we have somebody tuning in. Would love to hear your thoughts. What should we talk about next? Plenty to go around here on the Schmidt Show. We've already wrapped up the Memphis Golden State game, 106-101 victory for the Grizzlies, grinding it out, and you got to love it. That series all knotted up as it heads back to the Bay in San Francisco. Speaking of the Bay, let's take a look at the Dodgers-Giants game. I know that was close. Giants, they're down 3-1 in the bottom of the eighth, and the Dodgers have runner on second with no outs. So Dodgers looking like they might take that NL West rivalry matchup here tonight. It was closer earlier. I think it was only 2-1, but now 3-1. Dodgers have 2 on now with 1 out. So not looking good for the Giants. But yeah, please comment. Nick Escobar, my guy. Yeah. Aren't they? They got hit with some COVID issues, didn't they? I believe, but they've done really well here to start the season. And Nick, the Eagles fan too, is this guy living in NorCal, and I know he's a huge Eagles fan. Stealing away AJ Brown from the Tits. Unfortunately for the Titans, having to let AJ Brown go, that's a whole another can of worms we can open up. I think AJ Brown was asking for way too much money. It sounded like the reports were that the Titans ended up offering him $16 million a year, which is like pretty comparable with his stat line. Go look at it. I mean, Pro Football Reference or wherever you want to find your stats. AJ Brown, not even playing a complete season. Dealt with some injuries here and there, and I mean that's just the way it goes sometimes. But for this guy to turn around, I mean obviously his production was pretty solid, if not great, when he was playing. But to turn around and want to ask for 20 million or more going into his 4th season is pretty insane. I don't blame the Titans. Getting rid of him, it would have been a huge blow to the salary cap. Oh yeah, you're right. AJ Brown, Devontae, yeah, they're looking good. It's good to be a Philly fan right now. We have a cheaper, yeah, that's true. Jalen Hurts going to be on his rookie deal for a while still, obviously. So the Eagles looking sharp, with the NFC East wide open every year as usual, because the Cowboys can't seem to figure it out in Jerry's world. But getting back to tonight, we have talked about the big Grizzlies win in Game 2 in Memphis, 106-101 over the Golden State Warriors. And we also recap the triple overtime game between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers. Pittsburgh getting a big Game 1 win over the Rangers on the road at Madison Square Garden. And your heart breaks for their goaltender, New York. I wish I knew how to say his name correctly. I feel like I'm butchering it, honestly, but it's like Shesterkin. I think that's how you say it. So, yeah, the Rangers with the tough L, unfortunately. There. What else do we need? What else should we get after here? Um, we talked about the Bucks, Celtics. Not a lot to really discuss, unless you want to break down the box score and why the Bucks lose by 23 to Boston in Game 2 after beating up on Boston in Game 1. So this game entirely flipping the script as the Celtics all over Milwaukee in Game 2. Giannis still producing as we mute ESPN for being loud. And Antetokounmpo, 28 points, but he was very inefficient. 9 rebounds, 7 assists, only 11 for 27 from the floor. And Brooke Lopez, only 2 points. Bobby Portis, 13 points. That's pretty good for Bobby Portis. Drew Holiday, 19 points. He stepped it up, but just inefficient shooting across the board. Drew Holiday, 7 for 20. And then, Connaughton coming off the bench, 13 points, 6 for 7. But, yeah, just the two top guys with Chris Middleton obviously still out with the sprained MCL. Antetokounmpo and Drew Holiday having to carry the load and not really getting help from a guy like Brooke Lopez, who can put up 15 points easily in his own right, but only 2 shot attempts in the game this evening. And then Wesley Matthews, only 2 shot attempts. So Drew Holiday and Antetokounmpo took it upon themselves and just inefficient from the floor. And we got 2 viewers. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Anything you want to talk about, please feel free to comment as we break things down here on this unreal Tuesday night in sports. Appreciate you tuning into an emergency Schmidt snuck up on us, turtling. So we're happy to break things down. Surprising score that just finished up. Calgary 1-0 win, shutting out Dallas to start that series up in Calgary. The Flames picked them to win the series, but I thought this game would be a little more high scoring. Only 1 goal in the 60 minutes there in Game 1. Actually, let's see who scored, because I was not able to watch that game. I was keeping up with, as you could tell, I'm neglecting talking about the Nashville onslaught, a literal avalanche just destroying Nashville, and we don't really want to talk about it just yet. Dallas, the goal scored, did not score, shutout obviously. Lindholm picking up the lone goal for Calgary to beat the Dallas Stars. 4 games tonight in the NHL, and before we talk about the pitiful Nashville Predators start to Game 1, Washington with the upset of the top seed in the West, the Florida Panthers. The Capitals winning 4-2. Let's check out didn't get to watch this game. Let's see what went on. It looks like Eller picked up a goal. Kuznetsov, he's always good to produce for the Capitals. TJ Oshie a goal. Tom Wilson. So the Stars rolling for the Washington Capitals. Yes, sir, Nick. Miss you, buddy. Yeah, the Stars rolling for the Washington Capitals as their top guys get goals to win 4-2, and Florida unable to get any solid production. Claude Giroux got a goal for the Panthers, and Bennett scored as well. And it looks like, let's see team stats for this game, as Yeah, the Capitals just another vet. You know, we are talking about the Penguins being the veteran team in that series against the Rangers, and how about the Washington Capitals against the Florida Panthers team that hasn't really been there as much? You could say definitely a lot more playoff experience for the Capitals. Um, do, Not dominating in shots, but six more shots on goal. Um, Actually, that was the only category that they really did well. I picked up a power play goal, and the Panthers 0 for 2 on the power play there. So the Capitals getting a big win on the road. And now we get to something that I'm ashamed to talk about. My Nashville Predators getting absolutely throttled by the Avalanche tonight. What an embarrassment, honestly. They look slow. Clearly, this Colorado Avalanche team is more skilled, uh, way more speed, lots of scoring power, and the Stars getting it done for the Avalanche. The captain, Nathan McKinnon, 2 goals, 1 assist, +2, plus minus. Kale McCarr, 1 goal, 2 assists. So those guys beasting. Mikko Ratman, 3 assists. So the Avalanche, their best players stepping up, and Nashville just absolutely nowhere to be found on the ice, picking up a garbage time goal. In the third to make it look a little bit better. Still getting absolutely blown out, unfortunately. Uh, let's see. Yeah, the Predators got 2 goals from Matt Duchene. So he's able to find the back of the net, and I guess that's a positive you could take away. But yeah, just this series is not looking pretty for Nashville. UC Saros out for Nashville, and that is highly disappointing. Clearly, UC Saros best goalie option and one of the best goalies in the NHL this season. Not having him on the ice is definitely what am I trying to say, y'all? I mean, clearly just not gonna go well for Nashville. Um, yeah, UC Saros. Let's see. He's missing the first 2 games, unfortunately, with a right leg injury. No, I'm sorry. Due to a left leg injury, UC Saros out for Nashville for the first 2 games. So highly disappointing if you're a Nashville Predators fan. Of course, Nashville faltering down the stretch, something I want to talk about in our full Schmidt show. Um, yeah, just very rough for Nashville. They had a chance to play Calgary and take the spot of Dallas. Dallas was slipping at the end, but Nashville, my roommate, actually graphic designer for the Coyotes, Shane Miller Thomas, he went to the game, the last game of the season against where I can't speak English. I apologize, everyone. Yeah, Millard went to the last game of the season for the Arizona Coyotes with the Nashville Predators in town. I had a different obligation, not able to go, but yeah, the Preds were up 4-0, and the Coyotes with 5 unanswered goals to win 5-4, and giving the Predators the final spot in the West, having to take on the Giants of the West, the Colorado Avalanche, who absolutely dominated this season. 56, 19, and 7, 32, 5, and 4 at home. Just unreal. Unfortunately, for the Predators to have to run into a red hot Colorado Avalanche team. And the first period was a literal avalanche. 5 goals scored in the first period by the home team, Colorado. So just brutal start for Nashville. And that will wrap up the talk there on my hometown team because it's pretty infuriating, honestly. They sucked majorly. Yeah, we'll keep it PG here on the first edition of the Emergency Schmidt. Appreciate everyone who has tuned in so far. We appreciate the support. Yeah, I was hoping we could get some more people on here to talk about some things, but clearly everyone hates me. That's how it usually goes. So, hey, I love everyone who is supporting. Love you guys. Please like, subscribe, share. Schmidt Show episode 5 dropping tomorrow. Excited about that as we continue to grind. And for my true fans, we apologize for the short break in the Schmidt Show. I've been grinding, trying to get this full time job in sports media. I've been working a couple of part time jobs, and I'm just ready to take the leap and pressing. My portfolio is finished. You can check it out. ethanschmidt.myportfolio.com. Feel free to take a look. Any feedback is welcome. And I love everyone who's supporting. Um, we're doing big things, honestly. All of the episodes so far, near 100 views or more on the Schmidt Show as this thing gets up and going, with a lot more to come. Where I'm always open to ideas. I want to hear everybody's thoughts, everybody's takes. Would love to respond to it as we have whatever the BS is going on here. I wanted to run the Memphis Golden State highlights, but yeah, you get a little behind the scenes look at the Schmidt Show studios. Um, yeah, look at that. We're live here in the emergency Schmidt. Gotta love it. Ooh, look at that. Investigation said Hugh Jackson was never paid extra to lose. So Hugh Jackson turning out to be a liar? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Allegedly. All right. Yeah, John Morant ties career high. Let's go back and watch the superstar work. What a monster game this guy had. 47, 8, and 8. Gotta love it. Memphis, shout out to Tennessee, baby. And the Suns play tomorrow. That's what we can talk about now. They look ahead at the games tomorrow in the NBA. We'll see Wednesday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Shout out to any of the Star Wars fans. Yeah. Okay. So tomorrow, yeah, Mavericks Suns opening game line. Phoenix favored by 6, and that just covered in the last game. Phoenix was up by over 20 at one point, and allowing Dallas to come back in garbage time and keep it within 7. But Luka Doncic 45 points, and but if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan, shout out to my homie Eli Makula, because Dallas, you get 45 from your superstar and you still lose the game pretty big. I mean, Dallas made it look closer than it really was toward the end of the fourth quarter. But I think the Suns have a chance to roll in this series. Maybe a sweep, but probably 5 games. I'm thinking I'm going to give uh, Dallas a game cushion there. Um, yeah, uh, the Suns are looking really good. Devin Booker's back, so that's huge for the Suns. Clearly, Phoenix struggling a bit without Devin Booker in the um, series against the New Orleans Pelicans. Uh, that game going 6 was scary. Phoenix needed game 5, able to clutch it out, and that was all she wrote. I knew they would win game 6, but if Phoenix went down 3-2, definitely would have been very bad for Phoenix. But now taking on Dallas, who I think just their strengths are not strengths against Phoenix. So a team that likes to live and die by the 3 ball and really reliant on Luka Doncic, as we've discussed so far already here on this emergency Schmidt. So I think Phoenix is able to get the job done a little easier, especially getting Devin Booker back. I don't think he's fully 100%, but he's young, the young buck. Uh, and the heart and soul of this Phoenix team, along with Chris Paul. Shout out to DeAndre Ayton in a contract year. Aiden has been balling so far this postseason. I think that he's going to get the big contract, the max extension um, here very quickly in the offseason, with the Suns' chance to go to the finals yet again. We'll have to see what happens. Clearly, this series is way closer in the Golden State Memphis matchup, and Memphis tying things up there. Um, Big key points in that game. Dylan Brooks, Memphis up 8-0, knocking Gary Payton out of the air. Scary moment. It just makes you cringe watching Gary Payton's elbow as he braced himself there. So tough scene. And then Draymond Green taking an elbow to the head, having to get stitched up, missing the rest of the quarter. And then John Morant, 15-point run on his own for the Grizzlies to close out the game. So that was pretty insane for the youngster. And what else? Oh, yeah, I have to admit though that the call was pretty damn soft on Draymond Green on the loose ball foul. John Morant just kind of fell, and they called Scott Foster called the loose ball foul. Leave it up to Scott Foster. I think that the way John Morant played, that Memphis deserved to win the game, but that call definitely really affecting the outcome. The Grizzlies winning by 5. So I don't know. Could have gone either way, I guess, if you look at it with the foul call. But yeah, the other game, the Philadelphia 76ers in Miami against the Heat for game 2. And of course, the Heat getting the best of the Sixers in game 1, 106-92. I was all over that. Took the Heat -7.5. Had the Suns -5.5, and they won by 7. The Heat winning by 14 in game 1. I think this next game could be a little bit tighter. We'll see what happens. Philly needs James Harden to step up. Actually, if you were an original fan of the Schmidt Show, we had James Harden on the wall, but he came down because we're not really rocking with James Harden as of late. He's been pretty mediocre. So yeah, was hoping we could get some more people on here to give us your thoughts and talk about some things. But yeah, that's pretty much wrapping up. Don't want this to go too long. Pretty much wrapping up a great Tuesday night. Of course, NHL playoffs underway and NBA playoffs in full swing in the second round now. Um, yeah, it looks like the Giants, top of the ninth, last chance for the Giants on the road. One out, one on first, down by 2. So game tying run at the plate for San Francisco. The series going back to San Francisco for Memphis Golden State. Phoenix, Dallas, right here in the Valley tomorrow. And then the Heat should be able to take a 2-0 lead against Philadelphia without Joel Embiid. Not sure if he'll make his return or not. And of course, the other game tonight, the tables being completely flipped after dominating game 1 by Milwaukee. Boston comes back with uh, and retaliates with a big victory for game 2 to tie that one up as it goes to Milwaukee. And so triple overtime win for the Penguins off the shaft of Evgeny Malkin after Marino threw a puck on net. So Penguins with a big game 1 win, and going to be tough for the Rangers to pick themselves up and shake off the dirt after getting that tough blow handed to them. But we appreciate you, anybody who tuned in tonight on this emergency Schmidt. I love doing this, just trying to get better. Um, we're just working hard. We're working, we're grinding, trying to improve, trying to do everything that I can to get better and improve my craft and bring you guys good content. So we're really appreciative of everything. You can continue to support me by liking the Schmidt Show videos. Check out all my other work on my YouTube page and also my portfolio page, ethanschmidt.myportfolio.com. Follow me on Twitter at Ethan Schmidt, where I post all my betting picks daily, mainly hashtag NBA picks. But today got some good feedback. One guy, he wants to hear my NHL and MLB picks. Hey, you can ride with me. If you do, you're a genius, or you could fade me. But we appreciate all of the support and every facet of young Schmitty getting things popping off here. Doing what I can, it's a dog eat dog world, and I love every single one of you, everybody who continues to truly support. Shout out to my guy Gridiron Arizona. Um, he's been supporting me like heck, and um, just so, just what a great guy. Chris Eaton, of course, been covering high school football since 2009, creating his Arizona varsity site and been rolling with that. So big shout out to Gridiron Arizona. Follow him on Twitter, and he's been huge. 22,000 followers on Twitter, and I can't thank him enough for helping me get everything that I'm working on off the ground with all of his support and replies. Um, so next thing we're actually to close things out, I did want to touch on the Ryan Tannehill's discussion that was going on today. Of course, the big coming out is that he said um, Ryan Tannehill saying that he doesn't think he has to mentor. He said it's not his job to mentor rookie Malik Willis. Of course, the Titans taking the Liberty quarterback in the third round of the draft, which will be recapping on the full Schmidt show tomorrow. Excited for that. Um, yeah, so basically, I think it's being blown out of context. I went back and watched the full presser like nobody does or nobody would do, and I don't really blame them. But yeah, basically, the reporter was like, ultimately, it is Willis's job to, it is the ultimate goal of Willis to take your job. And I thought that Tannehill responded like it was a decent response. He was just like, yeah, like we work, we compete, we're going to be watching the same film in the quarterback room together. And he just said he doesn't think it's his job to mentor him, but he hopes that Malik can learn things from him along the way, which is a good response. It's not Tannehill's job. I mean, as a captain, maybe you just leave that part out. Maybe that would have been best. But honestly, not really caught up in the response by Tannehill. I think it was okay. And the reporter kind of like trapped him and came after him in a way where he was just like, yeah, like, if Malik is gunning for his job, like they're just going to be pushing each other and being quarterbacks of the Tennessee Titans. So more on that tomorrow, but appreciate everyone who tuned in tonight. Sorry this might have ran a little long. The first edition of an emergency Schmidt, as we had to break down everything in sports on another unreal night in sports to start May here. And love each and every one of you. Gonna sign off here. Everyone have a good night and rest of your week. Schmidt Show episode 5 coming out tomorrow. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Twitter at the Ethan Schmidt. Peace out.